Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is JL for those of you that may not know, and today's video is going to be super exciting because we are playing around with the brand new Pat McGrath palette that launched for the holidays. This palette is called the Mthrshp Mega Celestial Divinity Eyeshadow Palette. And my understanding is that she has never released a mega palette before, so it's very exciting. We're going to talk about the palette a little bit. I'm going to show you guys some swatches of everything, and we're going to try it out and do an eyeshadow tutorial. So if you guys want to see all of that, please keep watching. Alright you guys, so to start I obviously have kind of like a different angle, a different background. I kind of figured out how to show you guys just a little bit of what I've been doing. So you have the nice little fairy lights behind us, and I was able to kind of change my lighting a little bit to make it a little bit less like orangey, yellowy sometimes, because I love the warm lighting, but I just wanted it to feel a little bit more, I wanted it to stay cozy but to feel a little bit more true. So hopefully this isn't too cool toned. My lighting might change throughout my next few videos, but we just want to roll with the punches. First of all, this is what it looks like. It is absolutely stunning. It kind of has, like, in my opinion, like a more Egyptian inspiration to it. I love the pink and gold. As you guys can see, I very much borrow pink and gold accents in a lot of my decor, rose gold in particular. But I love pink and gold. I love this color. It's so beautiful. And the palette definitely mirrors the packaging. It looks the same, so you don't have to worry about like having, you know, if you're like, I don't want to keep the box, you don't have to, because the palette looks the same on the outside. So this is Pat McGrath's holiday collection, or a part of it. She also launched a lip kit that I won't be buying because it's $75 for some Swarovski crystals, a lipstick, and a duo lash glue, and I just personally can't bring myself to buy that. I also just won't use it, but that is one of the holiday launches that she has. She also launched a highlighter, like a single highlighter. I don't know if that is available yet, but I know it will be available at some point. And then she launched little mini quads of eyeshadows that you guys can buy as well. So she has quite a few things. She might even have some lip products in there besides the little lip kit that I mentioned, but this one was definitely what caught my eye. When you open it up, you have 18 shades, and normally in her Mthrshp palettes you get 10, and because this is the mega, you get 18. And the shades look like this. They are absolutely stunning. I mean, look at that. You have these deep kind of berry tones, these purpley tones, you have some rich golds. It's beautiful, and you also get 3 mattes. The rest of them are shimmers, but I think we all know by now that if you're using Pat McGrath, the palette comes with such beautifully pigmented shadows and such beautifully formulated shadows that in general I feel like people are content going with the satin shimmer shades and using those in the crease and whatnot. That's kind of, you know, typical for people using Pat McGrath products in general. So you can also, you know, grab another palette if you need to, but I feel like the way that she picked all the shades, the matte products that you do get in here definitely go with all of these shades that you have, so you'll definitely be able to create quite a few looks. Yeah. You'll definitely be able to create quite a few looks from this palette, which is of course amazing. So the deal with this palette that I think people had some issues with is that apparently if you look at the palette, there are if I'm not mistaken, 12 of the 18 shades are shades that she has launched already. If you guys were not familiar with one of her previous limited edition collections, she did launch a collection for the most recent Star Wars film that launched, and she re-released these shades. I personally think that was a really smart and honestly kind of giving move, because so many people weren't able to get it. You have to remember, Star Wars has been around for decades. It has a very large fan base, and there are people that may not wear makeup that still would buy that product because they are Star Wars fans and collectors. And so people buy stuff if they really love something and they collect it just because it's available. So that means that a lot of people that may have just wanted it for the shades because they're Pat McGrath fans didn't get a chance to get it. I'm one of those people that didn't get a chance to get it, and I was genuinely upset about it because I am a big Star Wars fan. When I was growing up, I wasn't allowed to watch and do a lot. My parents were pretty strict in that area, but things that I was always allowed to watch were the Star Wars films, Lord of the Rings, Star Trek, and basically any superhero movie. So obviously, like, I have memories of, you know, the classic Disney, Pixar, DreamWorks films that I watched growing up. But my most vivid memory when I was younger was going to see Star Wars Phantom Menace in theaters when I was about 6 years old, because my dad loved the Star Wars franchise, so I really wanted that. And my dad actually passed away unexpectedly a few years ago, and when I was not able to get that collection, it really devastated me, and I thought about it all of the time. So I was already interested in this collection, but when I found out that it was going to have those shades, I was like even more determined to get the collection, because for me, every time I look at it, I think of my dad, and I love finding little things that just makes me feel closer to him, even though he's not physically here. So I am going into this very excited and very happy, and let's just get started. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't sure if I was gonna get through that without crying, and I did, so I'm proud of myself. My eye got a little watery. I'm not sure if that's the allergies or the emotion, but we're just gonna keep it moving. All right, so the lids are primed and ready to go, so let's get started. So I think I might want to do kind of like a halo eye. I kind of have an idea of the shades that I want to use. So I'm going to do something a little bit different. You guys are definitely going to be seeing this palette multiple times on my channel because it's so pretty. But I'm going to start off with the matte shade, this brown matte at the top. And let me see. So I'm going in the right order. This is called Major Mahogany. So it's like this beautiful like mahogany brown shade. I'm going to start off there, and just on this kind of like small tapered brush, I'm going to pat a little bit of this kind of near the inner corner and then on the outer corner as well. And this is one dip into the palette, and you can see the classic like Pat McGrath pigment is definitely there. How stunning is that? And I am just going to start blending this over just a tad. I'm going to even go onto my other eye and just tap off any of the excess in that area, because we have a lot of excess. Wow. And I'm just going to come back over and kind of just start blending that out. Now I'm going to go in with the shade Venomous Void, which is this deeper purple shade right here. And I'm going to just start blending this out along the edges. I'm taking a slightly smaller brush because I just find that with how high I like to blend up my eyeshadows sometimes, I can run into issues because I don't have as much lid space as I think I do. So I like to go in with a smaller brush first and then do any excessive blending that I need to, or extra blending rather, that I need to afterwards. So I'm just going to start with this. Oh, and this does have a mirror on it, so you can see that. Yeah, this does have a mirror on it, so I can just peek into the mirror for whatever I need. So I am just blending this right along the edges of that shadow, and it can even kind of come down a little bit if it needs to. But we are going to like reinforce that brown, so don't feel any type of way if you're like losing the brown. All right, now I'm going to go in with a fluffier brush and with nothing on it, and I'm just going to blend out the edges of this shadow a bit, and even kind of blend out this little area that's looking a little questionable. I definitely think that I lost a little bit of the brown, so I want to just reinforce that a bit. So I'm going to go back into that mahogany shade and just reinforce that brown. And I do see that there's a little bit of patchiness right here. I'm trying to figure out exactly what to do to fix that issue. At first it seems like it was working with just putting concealer down, but it might be just me having to use a very specific base when I really want to get color to pick up there. I feel like it works well with my P. Louise base, but with other bases I still kind of have a slight issue with that. So, because I tend to have that issue where it just doesn't want to keep color right here. I am just going to take a little bit of that purple shade and I'm just going to try and blend this brown out a little bit more at the edges. I wiped off the excess product on this brush, so there's no product left on here. I'm going to pick up this really pretty, like, muted mauve shade, I guess you would say. And this is the shade Venusian Orchid. And very lightly blend out this deeper purple shadow so that we have that really pretty diffused portion of our eye right here. Alright, the mattes on this palette have blended really beautifully, even with my own little issue that I had. I feel like everything just looks beautiful and I love it. So I'm going to go in with the shade Dragonfly, which is this really pretty multi-dimensional shade here. It's looking green on camera right now, but when I look at it, I'm seeing purple and blue. So this is definitely like another kind of trio chrome that she has. It looks beautiful. Whoa, I was not expecting that. That is stunning. Oh my gosh, look at that. Let me swatch that for you guys. How stunning is that? Excuse my nasty band-aid, but how stunning is that? That is so pretty. Oh my god. Yeah, we're definitely going with that shade. I will say that it felt a little bit drier than her regular Mthrshp palettes, like when I first touched it, but clearly the performance element is still there. This one has like micro glitters in it because I don't know if you can tell when I hold my hand up, but I'm seeing like very fine little specks. I'm going to start off dry to see how it applies with a brush when dry, and then if I need to, I'll add in a little bit of moisture to pick up the color a bit. Oh my god. That is so pretty. Wow. You want to talk about pigment. See, this is why Pat Mcgrath remains undefeated, truly. I'm sorry, but this is how you do it. This is how you make a holiday collection. What I'm going to do now is just kind of start reinforcing this, just that it's blended a little bit better, which means I'm going to take the brown shade, which is Major Mahogany, and I am just going to blend that closest to the edges of that shimmer, that beautiful shimmer that we have. Now I am going to take a little bit of our purple shade, which again is Venomous Void, this purple right here, and just further blend out the edges. And then we can just take this brush that I didn't pick up any excess product on and just again blend everything out so that it looks its absolute best. Okay, now I am kind of curious of what would happen if I wet my brush. So I'm going to go back in with that very same shade, Dragonfly, and I am going to spray my brush just a teensy bit to see how metallic we can get this. I think for the brow bone area, I'm going to take Lunar Champagne, which is this gorgeous like light gold up here. I want to take that shade right there Alright, you guys, I'm going to very quickly, I mean, you kind of already know, but I love this palette, but I'm going to very quickly just wrap up the rest of my makeup, and I will be right back with you all. Alright, you guys, and this is the completed look. I am in love with this palette. I think that it's so beautiful, and I love it. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't immediately get holiday vibes from it, but it is Pat Mcgrath, so I wasn't expecting like Christmas trees or anything. She always says something that's very different and very out there. So upon initial look, I wasn't immediately thinking holiday, but I do really feel like these shades are just something special. I know again that this shade is one of the ones that's from the Star Wars palette, but it does work really well for holiday. It's so pretty, it's multi-dimensional, you know, depending on where you turn, you get something different. I have a shade that, now that I think of it, that I wish was more similar to this, but it's not. This is the only one that does exactly what I hoped that shade did. And that one is from, I think, the Natasha Denona palette that I have. But I love this palette so much. It's so pretty. I just popped the shade Corruption. Is this? Oh, no, sorry. I popped the shade Cosmic, this shade right here. It looks pink up here, but when I move it a certain way, it actually looks a little bit more gold with like pink flecks. So that's also multi-dimensional and it's beautiful. I popped that in the inner corner, and then I popped a little bit more of this shade Lunar Champagne right on top to kind of tone it down a bit. But besides that, that's basically what I did. And then I just put a little bit of that Mahogany shade under, no, not Mahogany. Then I put a little bit of the Venomous Void and the Venusian Orchid. Then I put a little bit more of the Venomous Void and Venusian Orchid on my lower lash line and just smoked those out. So those two shades right there, this one and this one. And that was the look. It was super simple to do, and I'm just so happy with how everything turned out. I think this is so beautiful. I was really feeling doing like a nice cute little berry moment with my lips, so I'm really happy with how everything looks, and I hope that you guys love this too. If you were thinking about picking this up, I hope this helped you make your decision whether you decide to do it or not, just so that you know that the shades do work well. They are still the beautiful Pat Mcgrath standard, and you're going to get some really unique and very beautifully pigmented shades. She does have 6 new shades in the palette. I'm not entirely sure which ones those are at the time of filming this video, but I will be sure to leave those down below so that you guys know for sure in the description box what those special shades are. This palette retails for $78. I don't believe I said that already. So if you were curious, I thought when I found out 18 shades were going to be in this palette, it was going to be like $300 because her normal palettes are about $125, $130. But this is $78, partially because the packaging is more cardboard, so it's not quite as luxe, and the shadows are repeat shadows. So just keep that in mind if you were like, I want something, I don't want to spend over $100 though for a Pat Mcgrath holiday price. You know, this would be a great thing because it's $78. It's expensive, but it's beautiful. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up, comment down below, subscribe so that you never miss a new upload, and also to very much guarantee you are notified when I get new uploads, hit the notification bell because then you always know and you can go ahead and join in all of the fun. I will see you all in my very, very next video, and until then, bye my loves.
Say my name until the city burns and the stars fade away and your scars don't hurt. Stay with me until the last